Hi, I'm Toby Earle and I'm speaking to Jimmy Constable of 911, currently taking part in the big reunion on tour on ITV2. Jimmy joins us now. Jimmy, hello. Thanks for joining MSN TV.
Thank you for having me.
What's it like going back on tour with a band you toured with, well, a few years ago now? Is it completely different or is it very much the same in many ways?
I don't think nothing's really changed between the three of us guys, because we've always been best of friends from the very beginning. And unlike other bands, we never really had a fallout. We only kind of just kind of came to an end of the amount of years that we'd spent. So between the three of us, it's been fine. Getting back together and doing the big reunion has been a tremendous shock for everybody, I think. I think it's that initial excitement, and then you get on the road and you think, okay, this is different than what it was in the old days. I think the biggest thing, certainly for me personally, is that when you have kids and you're married, your kind of priorities in life change. So you're always going to give, commitment to the band and all the rest of it. But, I'm suddenly finding myself having conversations with Michelle, Heaton and Kerry about doing the school run. Whereas in the old days, it was about, when are you releasing your album? Because we don't want to, don't want to be rivals. You don't want to release the same time as you. The kind of fighting in the charts with people and stuff. But there is none of that. It's very relaxed. We're having a great time talking about the old memories, and as people have seen in the big reunion show, there's some of the old stories come out, and whether we like them or not. We always said that we would do it kind of warts and all. So what people see is exactly what happened.
And which is your worst wart that's been exposed on ITV2 then?
Well, I suppose probably in the early days of the big reunion, we focused on the ups and downs of personal lives, and obviously I went through a lot of drugs and depression and all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't nice to watch it back, and it certainly wasn't nice to get the feedback from your family, who were kind of obviously going through it but never really understood what you were going through. But on a more exciting note, the stories that when you kind of think to yourself, we were over in Asia, we were playing to 60,000 people, and we had an amazing time, and you're sharing these stories with the likes, the people from the lads from Five, and it's just great having the banter and the stories that come back into, and you realise that the music business is just such a small world, because everybody that we mention in our stories suddenly crop up in everybody else's story as well. Oh, I knew them, and oh, they were with you as well, that was our tour manager, and all the rest of it. So it's just been great fun.
Is it great to actually speak to people about the experiences they had and realise that you weren't alone in terms of how you felt when you were in the band and you were at the height of your popularity, and what happened in the years afterwards? Because I can imagine it's actually quite a lonely experience being in a band and being very successful, and then that kind of just ebbing away over a period of time, and what happens after that.
Yeah, I mean, we always, we explain to people that, I know the job looks very glamorous, spending a lot of time on planes and flying around the world, but you're within this bubble, and you're portrayed as a certain kind of brand and stuff. And it was great to have conversations. I mean, on the downside of things is that, when I had conversations, when I watched the big reunion and I saw Abs's story, what he'd been through, and I kind of suddenly realised, well, I'm not the only one that's been through all this. It seems to be now that we've spoken to everybody, the music business does this to everybody. It doesn't matter how you weigh it up. It's just the way that you deal with it personally in yourself. Obviously, some of the bands were kind of they took a different path to us on within the music industry. They didn't get to release as many singles or as many albums or do well in Asia as we did, or all the rest of it. So those stories are always interesting, and they're fantastic to hear. But yeah, it's just a different experience, especially when you've been out of it for so long as well, because you suddenly come back to it and go, well, I can't even remember any of that, because, bearing in mind that it was flyers and tape cassettes back then, now it's Twitter and Facebook, and, the whole system seems to have changed, but yet we're still the same three people still travelling on the road and being on tour with the same kind of bands that we did 15 years ago. And so it's kind of bizarre in a way as well. And
Jimmy, just finally, a one-word answer to this question. You said it's a shock, kind of being back on the road and everything. Do you think you're more prepared for it now, having small children and having less sleep, or are you less prepared for it, having less sleep?
I'm more prepared, so we'll take two words on that one. Yeah, I think having children is an eye opener for everybody, and it makes you realise that you put all the hard work into it, but the reality is that it's more about kind of family life, and my kids are the main importance for me. Although I'll always give up 100% to 911, they do change your lives.
Thank you so much, Jimmy, for your time today. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.